Hello, you lovely lot. My name is Mike and welcome back to another video. Today, I am going to be talking to you about teaching English. I recently completed an online Celta course for the British Council, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion about how it was. So, shall we start? First of all, what on earth is a Celta course? Well, the Celta course is basically something that Cambridge and the British Council do to help teach people like me to become better English teachers. In some places around the world, the only thing you need to be an English teacher is to be native or to have a high level of English. This means if somebody isn't very good at teaching, they get the same opportunities as somebody who is very good at teaching. So the Celta course can be a way of showing who is serious about teaching English and who just wants to live in a different country. It isn't necessary to have a Celta qualification in order to be an English teacher, but in a lot of places it can help. Normally, the Celta course is a 4-week face-to-face intensive course. You do about 8 hours of study every single day, and you have homework. However, since the pandemic started, they've been doing more and more online Celta courses, and that is what I did. So today I'm going to be talking more about the online Celta course because it's something I have experience with. Okay, to start with, I want to talk about the price. It's a very expensive course, okay? It costs between 1,000 and 1,300 euros. It's very expensive because it's also not necessary in order to be employed. In some job interviews, they might not ask if you have a Celta. So because of that, some people are put off because why would they spend that much money on something that they don't actually need? It's very expensive, but it's very reputable. If you have a Celta, everywhere will treat you more seriously, more professionally. It's something that isn't necessary, but will help your career the further you go. Something I was worried about is how reputable some of the places that offer the Celta course are. They're all very reputable. The British Council or Cambridge will send people on every Celta course to evaluate to make sure it's worth the money. For example, the TEFL courses aren't regulated, so that can be a waste of money. The Celta course isn't like that. The way the course is structured is to give people as much opportunity to teach and to learn about teaching. It's very intensive. It's structured so that every other day you teach a 45-minute class. In each teaching group, there are 6 teachers, and there should be 10 students to teach, although sometimes there isn't. This means 3 people per day will teach for 45 minutes each. After these teaching sessions, you have to give feedback to your other classmates so you can help them improve, or so you yourself can also improve. It's very helpful, and some of the best advice I got was in these feedback sessions. In the afternoon, we would then have a 3-hour session about things that will help us teach. For example, how to teach pronunciation, how to teach reading, things like that. I think the way it's structured is very, very good. It allows you to practice as much as you can. It allows you to learn as much as you can. It's very, very in-depth. And at the end of the course, I felt like in every single aspect, my teaching was just that bit better. The one drawback about these super intensive days on Celta, although it's the same on a face-to-face course, is the time. Time is always a big issue because you have assignments to do, 4 of them, you have lessons to create and plan. For me, the classes went from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day. We'd have 1 hour for lunch and we would try to have 2 15-minute breaks. But sometimes the sessions went on too long and maybe it was a 5-minute break, a 10-minute break, It was like that. The time is an issue in Celta because it's so intensive. I would finish at 7 o'clock, and often I wouldn't finish working until midnight, and one time until 1 a.m. That was because I have 4 assignments, plus I had to prepare classes and the lesson plan and practice it all for the next morning. Very intensive, but if you can manage your time well, it's not too bad. So people in general worry about the online Celta and comparing it to the face-to-face Celta. I think the online Celta, the things I learned on the online Celta, are directly translatable and usable in the face-to-face classroom. There's nothing I learned on the online Celta that I can't use in a face-to-face classroom. I think for that reason, it was a very good course to do, and I would recommend the online Celta. The kind of lessons we're taught and the kind of things we focus on during the course is more about the theory of teaching and why we have the class a certain way. We're taught about how to structure our classes, and we're taught about how to talk to our students, give feedback and things like that. Clearly, these are all things that would be very easy to do online or offline. So for that, I think the online Celta is definitely good. I think the main advantage of this online Celta is that now I feel more confident teaching both online and offline. But if I'd have done the face-to-face Celta, I'd only feel more confident offline. So for me, that's a big advantage. Another worry that people might have is, am I capable of doing the Celta course? The Celta course is designed for people who have no experience teaching. We're taught a formula, and at the start, we're given a lot of help every step of the way. It's almost planned by the tutor and not by the student. And then as the course goes on, this help is slowly stripped away. So the teacher, me in this case, does more work for himself until eventually at the end of the course, the last 2 teaching practices are done pretty much solely by this teacher. The last 2 teaching practices are done entirely alone by the teacher, with very little help from the tutor. This is good because it allows the teacher to gain confidence and gain experience as the course goes on. For someone like me with teaching experience, I didn't need so much help at the beginning, and at the end it was fine. For other people on the course with no experience or with very little experience, they needed a lot of help at the start, but at the end they didn't need any help. So for that reason, I think it's good for both experienced and especially non-experienced teachers. Now, time is an issue because it's very strict. There's not a lot of time. You can't really have a social life during that month. But there are a few tricks. For me, the main trick was the first weekend. I spent the first weekend doing assignments, doing lesson plans. It was a full, intense weekend, but it meant for the rest of the course, I could relax. Other people on the course didn't realize that, and they spent the first weekend just doing normal things. Later on in the course, they had less time and they were more stressed, whereas I was relaxed. The tutors would say that normally on the 3rd week, everyone is really stressed and really busy doing all assignments. I'd done them. I finished them at the first weekend. My advice would be that use the first weekend well, do assignments, and you'll have no problem later on. Finally, the $1 million question. Was it worth it? Yes. Despite the huge price, I feel as though I'm a better teacher, I feel I'm more prepared, and I feel like I have more direction with where I want to take my career from here on. I would say if any other teachers or future teachers are thinking about doing the Celta either online or face-to-face, do it. It's expensive, but for me, the things I learned during the course are things I will take forward and use for the rest of my career. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. I hope I helped anyone who had any Celta questions. If you have more, either ask me below or message me on Instagram maybe, and I'll answer you as quickly as I can. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you lovely lot next time. Bye bye.